You know who Anthony Richardson reminds me of? A bad Daniel Jones. Like,
welcome to Fool's Ball, where everyone goes both ways, and both ways to the sides of me's. We've got Neckbeard on this side, and we got Chief Greengrass on this side. Neckbeard and Greengrass. Oh, let's go to Chief first today, because I know, Chief, you're extremely excited about the AFC South. Like, all week long, you're like, oh, Doug, I just can't wait to talk about my favorite division in all of sports. Like, any sport you name in the world, this has got to be the best. What's your big thing you're looking forward to about the AFC South?
I think that they have one solid defense in Houston. The rest of the teams are kind of meh. So if you like to play fantasy football, there might be a couple of golden nuggets, a couple of league winners in here. And
well, you're not digging the trenches on these teams, it sounds like.
I think we'll see.
We should see. Dave's not giving them any respect. Neckbeard, what are you thinking about the AFC South? Why are they such a majestic division?
They are so boring, and nobody talks about them. We're going to talk about them. Dude, even in the draft, Cam Ward goes number 1 overall to the AFC South, and they talked about him for 2 minutes at most, dude. So,
number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, let's talk about the AFC South. Nobody
and
ever
why do you
does.
think that was? Is because, like, other players, Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, all these guys grabbing the attention.
But if he went to the Giants or the Cowboys or something like that, they would have kept talking about him. Trust me.
Like, it's true, they would have. That's a really good point.
And kind of justifiably so a little bit, but they don't have any huge market teams. I mean, Houston kind of is, but if you think about it, Indianapolis, Jacksonville, and basically Memphis, Tennessee, or Nashville, excuse me.
Yeah, it's not
they're all small market teams. They don't get a lot of TV coverage. We don't know a lot about them. And the division has been kind of bad for a long time. Other than the Colts winning Super Bowl, the Super Bowl in the early 2000s against, who was it, Dave? Who did the Colts beat in the Super Bowl?
That Super Bowl stopped after Devin Hester returned the opening
kickoff. Okay.
After that, we popped the champagne and we just left.
Yeah. So outside of the Peyton Manning years, like, this has just not been a good division for a long time. They don't have like a lot of history to them, like, winning in the playoffs. So, we'll see what happens. I mean,
they do have this man right here. They do have this man right here. And just hear the crowd.
Oh, ooh, that was
do you
good.
See that? Let's watch that one more time. This is a pretty prolific play here by Travis Hunter. Covering him, he's in the pocket. He turns around, knocks it down, and boom, interception.
Dude's got unbelievable hands.
People have been buzzing about this play today. It almost made me want to give the Jags 2 extra wins on my schedule just because.
Yeah.
Because of that awesome play. But let's move it around and get to it. I guess we're gonna talk about this division here, and we're trying to find exciting things to be excited about.
Start off with the defending champs.
The defending champ, Houston Texans, and CJ Stroud, who looks more and more like an Ohio State quarterback every day. It might not be all his fault. It might be because their offensive line was not great last year and got worse somehow this year. So, yeah, I think D'Amico Ryan's a good coach. I think their defense is pretty good, but I'm not sure about this offense. And I don't think Stroud can carry them, especially considering Nico gets hurt all the time. And, Mixon was pretty healthy, but maybe not as much. He's getting a bit older.
And he did not do a Lambeau leap.
No.
He got rejected, remember?
Yeah, he did. He did.
Farm.
Yeah. So I've got him with 7. Chiefs got 8. Hype's got 9. So we all think they're going to be kind of around this area. But I don't think they're going to be great. I think their defense is going to keep them in a lot of games, but I cannot trust CJ Stroud to carry the team. I know he had a great rookie year, but last year he showed a lot of issues with teams showing him different looks and not being able to carry the team when he didn't have his big receivers. So, and again, this offensive line is not helping him at all. So
we all thought going into the draft they have to be drafting offensive line like heavy.
Right.
They just have
right.
to.
Yeah, they needed 3 guys, and they got one in the 5th round or something like that. So, yeah, man,
after trading away their left tackle.
Yeah, after trading away Larry Tunsil.
And they made the same mistake 2 years ago that Chicago made. They're like, okay, we have a young quarterback. What are we going to do? We're going to surround him with elite talent on the outside, give him amazing wide receivers, and we'll just let the line figure itself out. It didn't work in Chicago. At least the Bears, we learned we got some interior alignment to make it better.
Right.
And then they're like, all right, let's go. We got all these draft picks. Wide receiver. Don't get me wrong. I think those guys are great. Don't know that's what they needed for the offense. The defensive-minded head coach, he has fantastic edges with Hunter and Anderson, coming off the Dingley. He's an elite corner. Lassiter is solid. Gardner Johnson at their safety. The defense is solid. But if you're trying to say, we got a young quarterback, just score us 20 points a game. If you don't have a line, he's going to be running for his life. It's going to be kind of hard.
Yeah. And to be fair, they did draft an offensive lineman in the 2nd round, the guy out of Minnesota, right? That none of us really like that much, to be honest.
He's tall. He's a mountain of a man, but he doesn't have any hip. He doesn't have any pop.
Right.
He just kind of leans over and he'll lean on you and whatnot. It was fine when I did it in high school. I wasn't that big and bold and beautiful, but yeah, it doesn't work in the pros as well. He's just going to get run around him all day.
I think so too, and maybe in the run game he'll be okay, but I kind of had some issue with his pass blocking as well. And like a guy like that, if you take him in the 2nd round and you've got other good offensive linemen that can maybe cover up for his deficiencies, like maybe not a big deal, but like, yeah, they needed a franchise tackle on both sides, and I don't think he's it, to be honest. And then they went, Iowa State South, and they took Higgins and Noel, who I both think are really good. So I do think, they're going to help, but if Stroud doesn't have any time to throw, how is he going to get him the ball?
Yeah, they're going to have to chip block. They're going to have to hope that the running game somehow creates problems.
And then they picked up Woody Marks, who I think is actually a pretty good pickup, honestly, from USC. Jalen Smith, decent from USC. But I think the defense is going to be fine. I don't understand why they went wide receiver. And I don't like Irsay that much from Minnesota. I feel like he's more of a 3rd or 4th round pick. I know he's really big and I know he's powerful, but like in today's NFL with passing first, like Dave said, I think he's going to struggle for a little while to kind of get his bearings in the NFL.
I think this is a 7 or 8 win team, but they're in such a weak division. I gave them 9 wins. You know what I mean? Like they're playing against the worst teams in the league. So
I get that. And they're, Dave, what is their over under? 9.5, I believe it is. So we're all a little below that, but they might still win the division. I don't really feel it. Again, I don't trust CJ Stroud. He showed a lot of flash year 1. He did not show enough for me last year. And with no offensive line, I'm worried it's going to get worse this year. So anyway,
but they do have those exciting young receivers who could.
Yeah. But again, if he's got no time to throw, how often, I'm just worried he's going to get planted too much. And
I'm just saying it'll balance out for the team to be okay, but they won't be completely terrible and they won't be good.
Yeah, no, I can see that. And I think D'Amico Ryans is a good coach. So I don't think they're going to be terrible, but I have them at 7 wins, because they have a first place schedule. So they have a little bit harder schedule, obviously, than the rest of the teams.
I have them beating the Chiefs for some reason. I don't know why.
And if you look at their away schedule out of division, Chargers, Chiefs, and then they play Seattle at
I have them beating the
Rams.
Niners also.
Yeah. I mean,
the AFC South plays the NFC and AFC West this year.
Yeah, I don't know why, but
it's going to be a brutal schedule for all these teams because they play what potentially could be the 2 best divisions in each conference, right? So,
and Doug has them dominating those.
I have them.
Yeah, you do. Seattle, San Francisco, Denver, slap them up. Houston, slap them up.
Texans do great,
and
when
you
no
got
one
them beating
expects
the Chiefs. What the hell?
Yeah, I do.
Hey man,
after I gave that big speech about it's a weak division, and I have them beat them all the best teams.
Yeah, well, dude, yeah, that is really funny. Like, even though they're beating all those good teams, Doug, you still got them at 9 wins.
I know, but this is okay. This is my reasoning. 2 years ago, when they were really good and beating everybody and beating everyone, no one expected them to be good, and then people had expectations and they were kind of trash. So now I'm like, it's gonna kind of balance out a little bit. They won't be really good, but they'll win games they shouldn't, and they'll lose games they should.
Yeah.
And it'll just be crazy.
I think they're going to be in a lot of games. I do. I think they're going to be in a lot of games, but I worry
their
that
defense what will happen is people play down to their level. Their defense will play great, and they'll create turnovers, and something crazy will happen, and they'll beat like the Niners,
Yeah, I just think their schedule's too hard with no offensive line. That's why I went 7 wins for them. I could honestly see them winning one less, even maybe 6 games, because their schedule's just brutal.
Watch them win like 2 games.
I mean, they could win 12, right? Maybe that offensive line's better than we think. But I'm not buying into the Texans. I'm not buying into them this year.
Yeah, so. their defense will keep them in games.
Yeah.
That's going to help a whole lot.
This new logo is scary too.
Oh, this logo is amazing. Yeah.
So let's talk about a team none of us believe in at all. The Indianapolis Colts.
We're Wisconsin boys, born and raised. We all were roommates at Madison. We love Jonathan Taylor.
Love Jonathan Taylor.
He's amazing. He's fantastic. We
love him. Love him.
Try to keep him healthy, man. Block for the guy.
and I have no faith in this Colts team at all. I mean, I knew Anthony Richardson was not a great idea. Maybe if you sat him for 2 years behind a quarterback, fine. But then you go and get Daniel Jones. Like, dude, come on. You know who Anthony Richardson reminds me of? A bad Daniel Jones. Like, right? Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, I don't believe in this team at all. I do like that they got Tyler Warren, right? I think that long-term is going to be good for them, but I don't like their defense that much. I think Shane Steichen's a decent coach, but their quarterback situation's awful. And as much as I do love Jonathan Taylor, because I love you, man, like his injury history worries me. And the fact that he's going to have to carry this team by himself kind of worries me with that quarterback situation. So I got them losing a bunch of games to start the season. I got them losing 7, 8 in a row. Because I mean, you look at their schedule, Tennessee's on there. Maybe that's easy. Las Vegas, Arizona. I think they're bad. I think this team is bad. I think it's going to start off bad. And I'm surprised. I had them at 3 wins for a while. I was like, I got to give them 4 somewhere. But I think they're going to be in contention for one of those quarterbacks coming out next year's draft. I think they're going to be picking 1, 2, or 3.
This is the sad thing. We all love Jonathan Taylor, and he was set off for superstardom his first 2 seasons, right?
Yep.
And because their passing game is so terrible, teams can just literally key on the run game all day,
right?
And just stack the box and just limit Jonathan Taylor, because his superstar thing is that when he hits that second level between the D line and the linebackers, is if he has an angle on you, he's gone. Like he's just gonna bob his head one way, and then you're gonna hesitate, and then he's just gonna be gone. And now when the defense can just roll up and prevent him from having any space, it makes it hard for him to have those home runs, because man, he used to just do that every other play. It felt like the first 2 seasons.
All right, can I tell you guys why I have the Colts starting so bad and then winning a couple games? I predict that Riley Leonard is going to be their starting quarterback by the end of the year. That's what I predict. The quarterback from Notre Dame that they took in the 6th round, I think is going to be their starter by the end of the year, because I just don't believe in Daniel Jones at all, and I do not believe in Anthony Richardson at all. I just worried about Anthony Richardson getting injured as well. Even if he does start to play well, how's he going to put it together? Because he's going to get hurt. He runs so just carefree. And I just really worry about this offense more than anything. And, they got Tyler Warren, like I said, was good. They got JT Tumala, who I think is actually a pretty decent edge. I actually really like him. I was hoping the Packers would take him. But I don't really like many of their picks after that, to be honest, to fill their holes. And again, they were okay last year, but I think signing Daniel Jones was just such a bad idea. And either let Anthony Richardson play or don't, is kind of my opinion. This competition thing of bringing in his 2.0, his brother from another mother. What are you doing? You're bringing in 2 quarterbacks that are almost identically bad.
It's almost like they're tanking on purpose, like the Cleveland Indians and Major
League.
I
mean, maybe. I don't know. I think they're going to be awful. They got them at 7.5 Vegas, and I want to bet the under on that. I rarely bet the over, but I really want to bet the under on that one. So, we got them 4-4-5.
It's a good year to tank. There's more quarterbacks coming out next year, and
no, the Colts need to tank. I mean, if they are tanking and whatever, good. They need a quarterback. Richardson's not the answer. Daniel Jones is definitely not the answer. And, I think they do have outside. I think they have enough weapons to contend, but they just don't inspire me at all. I just don't think this team is going to be very good.
You know what this makes me think of? People last week there was a big, or actually 2 weeks ago, when the NBA draft had like a lot of buzz about it because of like the drama of like who got picked and whatever, or who got the first pick.
Yeah.
It started a conversation on the internet, like, should the NFL ever have a draft pick lottery to prevent tanking, right? Do you guys think that it's going to happen at any point?
No, absolutely not. I hate the NBA lottery, by the way. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, it's a very weird thing.
I love conspiracy theories, guys. I'm a huge fan of conspiracy theories in general. Now, I don't necessarily believe that the NBA, picks the guys who get the number one pick overall. But
the Dallas Mavericks.
I think it's weird that in the last 3 times that like a superstar has been traded to the Lakers, in Chris Paul, Davis, and Luka, every single time the team that traded them had got the first pick overall in the next year's draft and didn't necessarily have a good chance to get that first overall pick. Do you know what I mean? Now, obviously, Dallas wasn't tanking. They were trying to make the playoffs, right? So I'm not saying like it's a conspiracy, but like it's just really creepy how that happens and how it seems to happen, like, when superstars get traded, like Zion going to the Pelicans and all that stuff. So anyway, I hate the NBA lottery. I absolutely hate it.
There's a lot of things we hate about the NBA.
What?
There's a lot of things we don't like about the NBA nowadays, but
yeah, I mean, I don't like that the Bucks stink. That I really don't like, and I don't like that Doc Rivers is the coach still, which really is a problem. But in all, should the NFL do a lottery? Absolutely not.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
It would make it really messy.
Yeah, I would hate that idea. So please don't. Please don't.
No. But with the Colts, I think this is going to be. It's going to be a rough year because of their quarterback. But when you look at their surprise offensive line, they have a pretty solid left tackle in Bernard Raymond. PFF gave him an 82 pass block, 80 run block grade. So he's solid. He's young. They have one of the best left guards in the league in Quentin Nelson. They just drafted a Wisconsin center, which 10 years ago, that used to be an amazing thing.
Yeah.
Bortolini, maybe he's not, but then they went and got Goncalves, in the 3rd round in 2024. So they have young talent up in the line. So if they can get better, you got the weapons out there. The running back can be something. Right. So if they get a decent quarterback next year, it could be an exciting time to be a Colts fan. They tried saying that 2 years ago.
Yeah,
I wasn't buying it. If you're going to draft a quarterback early, make sure it's somebody who started at least 2 years in college. You need to make sure it has someone who has experience reading defenses. You can't just have an uber athlete who runs fast.
The way that the Colts are right now, they finished 29th in total defense last year. So like I said, they have a ton of offensive weapons, but they don't have a quarterback to really make that work. So their defense gives up a ton of yards and points, and they just don't have a quarterback that can hang with people. So, yeah, I think they're going to end up losing a lot of games here just because they're just not right now.
It was hard to give them 5 wins. It's almost like I'm just giving them wins just to give them some. It's not like
they're not going to lose all their games. I mean, again, Vegas has them at 7.5, so they obviously think they're going to win some games.
Does Vegas have anyone below 7 wins? Like, it just seems...
I think the Saints are 6.5, and I think the Titans were 5.5.
The Browns were maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. So either way, not a good year for the Colts. We all kind of agree. We're way low on the Colts compared to, I think, some other people. But I think 5 wins is kind of their ceiling. I don't believe in them at all. So let's move on to a team that I maybe believe in, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
The Jaguars.
That's why I was a highlight clip for you, because you love the Jaguars.
Well, I don't love the Jaguars, but I do think Sunshine's a pretty good quarterback. Like, I do think he's a pretty good quarterback.
He gave him 10 wins. That's pretty good.
He's very streaky, but last year, so they get Thomas, who was like one of the best receivers in the NFL, actually, if you look at his stats over the course of the year, right? They got Bigsby, they got Etienne, they drafted another running back, so they got plenty of depth there if anybody gets hurt, right? They got Ingram at tight end, they got Travis Hunter now, so I think this offense is going to be decent. And I don't know what Cohen is, but I do like what he did in Tampa Bay So I think the offense is going to be strong. The problem last year was the defense, right? And they still didn't necessarily address that completely. Obviously, a lot of people had them taking Mason Graham, which they didn't. But I mean, Travis Hunter is going to help on defense too. And I just think that because their schedule is a lot easier than the Texans in comparison, or not a lot, but it's easier than the Texans. I think they're going to pull off enough wins to get a winning record at the very least, right? And have a better year than the Texans. But yeah, I believe in Travis Hunter. I want him to play both ways. I think he can absolutely do it. I think he's got the talent, and I think I'm really glad the Jaguars took him and are saying he's going to do that. So, because I want to see it, man. I want to see him play both ways. I'm excited for that. At the very least,
I'm giving him 7 wins, and mostly that's because I do like Travis Hunter. I want him to do well, but I'm just like scared to buy into it. You know what I mean? Because it's the Jaguars. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like if I give him like 10, 11, 12 wins or something, like I'm just gonna be like what the hell was I thinking?
Yeah.
Because they just always find ways to be mediocre and stuff. And yeah, they've got some good. They got 2 legit wide receivers right now on their team, right? Which is a big deal to have in the NFL, like 2 like legit Pro Bowl level receivers. But I just don't know what the running game's going to look like. Their tight ends okay, their quarterbacks okay. I don't know. Maybe Travis Hunter can put him over the hump. Maybe he can just be a dynamic playmaker. Maybe he leads the league in receiving. I don't know. I mean, it's possible.
Dude, and I mean, look at all of us right here in the middle. Like, if you look at that run of Vegas, Houston, Chargers, Cardinals, Titans, Colts, Jets, like, we all have them winning a bunch of those games. I have them going on a run. Doug, you have them only losing 1 game.
I have them losing all their games and winning all their games.
Yeah, so, like, this is what I'm saying is, like, they might start a little slow because they got Cincinnati, Houston, San Francisco, Kansas City, Seattle, the Rams. That's kind of a tough start.
Schedule.
That's a tough start, right? And, you know, with Travis coming in, playing both ways with a new coach, I do think they're going to struggle a little bit to start. But once they kind of hit that groove, I think we all kind of have them hitting kind of a run. And Dave's got him at 9. I got him 10. You got him 7. You have them really struggling in the beginning, Doug. You got them.
Well,
they're playing a really tough schedule. Schedule's really hard.
No, but it starts off really tough, but then it gets really easy at the end. Like that, those last 10 games, other than at Denver. And okay, the Chargers at home, like that's a really, to me, easy schedule. You know, Indy, Tennessee, the Jets, Indy, Tennessee, Arizona,
right?
You know, Vegas.
I haven't beaten Denver, who might be good though. But that's the thing is, I think this is a team that has trouble beating really good teams. They can beat.
They do. They do have trouble beating really good teams.
Decent teams.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I think they'll still win a few of those games here and there, like San Francisco, Seattle. Like they'll win a couple games here and there. They'll have a losing record by the time, you know, they hit the bye. They'll be 3-4 basically. But like, I do think that they're going to find it and they're going to take advantage of that easier schedule and they're going to get enough wins to win the division.
I think they're going to find a groove halfway through the season and start playing like almost like a playoff level team. Kind of like the Seahawks sort of did that last year where they were sneakily good and beating teams that maybe they shouldn't have because their defense was good.
Right.
So like if Jacksonville's defense can step up, then I'll start believing in them.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm excited to see what Travis Hunter does on the defensive side. Cornerback was a really big need for them. They still need interior defensive
the thing
line.
too is, what if Travis Hunter doesn't play all the games? He could get injured or whatever, and that just makes a whole big difference.
Well, and they did sign a couple of guys, and they do have decent edge rushers, right? Like, so they do have a decent pass rush. So having a better cornerback in Travis Hunter out on the field, I think is going to improve the defense a lot. I really do. I think it makes a big difference. It's going to allow the pass rushers to do a little more. Their run defense is kind of suspect.
He might be able to shut down half the field by himself.
Yeah, and their safeties aren't great either. So their defense isn't going to be good. That's not what I'm saying. But like their defense, I think, is going to sustain enough to where I think this offense can actually carry the team. And I think this offense is going to find some consistency with Cohen at the coach. And like, yeah, I think they're going to be good enough to make the playoffs. That's just kind of how I feel about the Jags this year. So we'll see. But yeah.
They won't do much when they get to playoffs, but if you play fantasy football, this is the kind of offense you want a piece of.
Yeah, I agree.
A crappy defense, potentially explosive offense. Strange might work as a tight end, you know, as a late flex. But yeah, drafting Tootin, which I love that name. You know, very first handoff in practice, he fumbled it. That's what he did in college.
Yeah.
That's
and also, I mean,
people try to make him a thing, and I'm like, well, yeah, he's really fast. and he fumbles it, so he's going to be really fast on the bench.
But I mean, I think so. Etienne. So you got the Jags who got Etienne, who's a really good pass rusher and kind of a small, quick back, and then you got Tank Bigsby, who's a tank, right? And he doesn't catch the ball. So like they're kind of opposites. And then I think because this is the last year of Etienne's contract, he's had injury issues, so I don't see them resigning him. So I think that's why they took running back. But I mean, I like Wyatt Millen, by the way, the guard they took. I don't think a ton of Tootin, to be honest. I do like Kaiser that they took in the 4th as well. So, but again, this team has a long way to go to be like a championship contender, but I think they have enough to win this division is pretty much all I'm saying. And that's not saying a lot. Let's be honest. That is not saying a lot. So, all right, what do you think about the Jags? Are you excited for Travis Hunter, Dougie? Are you excited at least to see Travis Hunter?
That's why I showed that clip, because this is the thing for me. CJ Stroud, I think, is a step above Trevor Lawrence here, at least from what we've seen so far in their careers. And Trevor Lawrence could take the next step this year. Maybe he gets better, and then along with Travis Hunter makes them a playoff team, maybe even. They could be a surprise team this year. But Travis Hunter, like from the clip I just showed you, and we talked about it before the show, me and you, Derek, played defensive back and wide receiver in high school. And I really, really love studying and being in that mindset of like the ball hawk of like, if you're on defense, that ball is mine. You throw it on my side of the field, I'm catching that thing. It's mine. Even if I'm a defensive back, I don't care. Right. And he just doesn't matter what you do. He's literally like, when he's the cornerback covering your guy, you should not throw it to that area. You just don't.
His hands are so good, he's not going to be dropping.
If you make a small error and get that ball anywhere near that man, he'll probably catch it, and he might return it for 6 without even having to break a sweat. Like that's
what I'm saying. Like even that half a second, like in the back of your mind as a quarterback, you see Travis Hunter out there. That half a second that you're thinking about it is going to help that defensive line. It's going to help the rest of that defense. Now, over the top, the safeties in Jacksonville are just not great. So they're still going to give up a lot of points.
I'm just waiting to see, is he literally a Dion level cornerback where you just he's that side of the field is done. I mean, you just do not throw it.
Scouts say he's a better cornerback than wide receiver, but I mean, when your hands are great, I mean, you can just take advantage of it.
That's what I'm saying is like Dion was really good at just covering, straight up covering, and he had decent hands too. But Travis Hunter has like Hall of Fame level hands as a wide receiver. Like he's that good. So like imagine like you're throwing the ball up and Jerry Rice is just standing there covering your guy. Like you just don't I don't feel like as a quarterback I would just chance that. But I'm sure they'll test it early on, but if he starts making those crazy circus catches and picks, people are just they're not going to want to throw it over there.
Yeah. I at least will say the Jaguars at least are interesting this year. And mostly
it'll be fun television to watch. People will want to watch just
which is why when we talked about primetime games, I was kind of disappointed they only had one primetime game. I'm like, you don't want to see more Travis Hunter? But you know what? They might get flexed into a couple at the end of the year if they're in the playoff hunt. So like I could definitely see that happening, especially
I would really like at Denver would be a fun one.
Yeah, at Denver would be an awesome game to watch. Awesome.
It would be awesome for them to be good and Travis Hunter to like just be getting superstar fucking highlights on TV all the time.
Yeah. But dude, they got a pretty easy run, I think, to end the season. I think
they don't got a lot of depth at wide receiver though.
No,
they got Brian Thomas, Travis Hunter, and then Diami Brown, Parker Washington, and Austin Trammell.
I don't even know who Austin Trammell is.
Exactly.
All right, fair enough.
So it's exciting. They got to have Travis out there 50%.
Romeo Dobbs might be on the trade block, guys. Just saying it is we need
you never know.
Number three. All right, let's move on.
Watson is quick. Christian Watson's recovery is ahead of schedule. Halfway through the season, Romeo Dobbs could be gone.
I mean, we're not. I as a Packer fan, I can tell you right now, we're not giving contracts to Dobbs and Watson because this is their last year. So like. There's a chance we don't sign either of them and we trade them both or let one of them walk.
If Watson comes back and he starts playing like he did when he came back after the last one and catching like crazy, awesome catches, they're going to sign him because they need that tall, deep speed.
Well, they got Golden for speed. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think Dobbs is a good receiver, and I think the Jaguars are the type of team.
But you're right. I'm just saying he might end up on the Jaguars.
All right. Well, let's talk about the Titans now. So, Cam Ward, sorry nobody cared about your draft day. Sorry. I cared. Good for you, buddy. Good for you.
We are there. We saw it. We were there to watch you, Cam Ward.
Nobody talked about you. But when you beat the crap out of the Badgers twice as the Washington State quarterback, I definitely thought you were pretty good. And then you lit it up Miami. You deserve the number 1 pick. Good for you. You go to the Titans, who don't have a great roster, but I thought did a pretty good job in the draft. And I love that they got DK as well, Shamari DK. Their defense is not terrible. They don't have a great pass rush, but I think their offense is going to be okay. I'm not a huge Tony Pollard fan, but I do like the Tennessee line. I think the Tennessee Titans line is actually pretty good. I actually like their offensive line a lot. So, rookie quarterback, couple of weapons on the outside, decent run game, good offensive line, not terrible defense, not good, but not very good. But I think they're going to win a few more games this year, and I think Cam Ward is going to eventually be decent. So I think they're going to be better than the Colts. That's all I can say. Not great, but I think they'll be better than the Colts this year.
You're right. Their draft was decent. The edge from UCLA was some people had him as a dark horse guy that could be really good, but he's kind of a tweener dude. And then the safety from Penn State, a lot of people had him going.
I love that pick. Yeah, they needed a safety. I actually really like that pick, actually. Because he was injured, so he actually dropped quite a bit. Winston Jr. There were some people saying he was a first-round talent. They got him in the 3rd round. I love that. Of course, I love the DK pick. Huge fan. Gunnar Helm's not bad. I am I'm not really a huge fan of. And then 5th round after that, whatever. But I don't think the Titans are going to be good this year. But I do think they're going to be better. I just don't know if Callahan's the right guy to get Cam Ward where he's going to be. So me and Chief were talking about this before. So Callahan, guys, was the OC in Cincinnati, where, by the way, Zach Taylor calls the plays, and Callahan got credit because the year that Burrow got hurt, the backup came in and had a really good season. He actually had a really good season. Remind me of the backup's name. He's actually on my
Browning. He's on your squad.
I know he's on my fantasy team. I should know, right? I should know the guy's name. But he hasn't played a game since because Burrow's been hurt. But Burrow's been healthy.
No, yeah, but, Browning did good.
Browning did great. I'm surprised other teams didn't pick him up. But maybe it's the system because, he played so well. It's shocking. But
did he carry you to the playoffs?
What's that?
Did he carry you to the playoffs when he did great? Oh, okay. Just had to make sure.
Yeah.
He didn't do good enough, I guess.
Yeah. Do you know who has carried me to the playoffs? Nobody, by the way. Nobody. So.
Yeah, nobody has. So
we'll talk about my fantasy failures another time. So in case you guys have ever watched the league, I'm the commissioner of our fantasy, and I am always angry all the time. So
you
just like in the league.
You are Kevin, definitely. You're on the toilet talking to everyone.
Yeah.
That's why nobody returns any of your calls.
Nobody talks, nobody responds to me, nobody answers my questions, and I am Kevin. So yeah. Anyway, all right. But I don't think Callahan's a long-term solution, but he did a good job with Browning, so maybe he can do something with Cam Ward. But the Titans got, I think, a 2-year rebuild here, and they need a lot of stuff. The good news is they don't need offensive line. I'm pretty sure they're good there, and I think that's going to help Cam Ward a lot. And, just expect him to struggle a little bit, but I think long-term he was definitely the right choice, and I think Tennessee's going to win a couple games this year. I don't know. I'm looking at their schedule, there's a bunch of winnable games here, but there's also a lot of games where they just shouldn't win, like Denver, Rams. I'd even say New England is one that they're going to struggle with. Seattle, even though I gave them the win there. Jacksonville, San Francisco, Kansas City. I mean, it's for having one of the worst record in the NFL. The fact that they have to play the NFC West and the AFC West is kind of a bummer because they did not get an easy draw this year. They should have a much easier schedule than this. So I think they're going to struggle again. Hype, is there any game here? Is there any week where you're like, yeah, I want to watch the Titans game? Is there any game here that's super interesting to you?
Man, I was going to say that's a good question, but I don't really know. I just feel like it's just going to be like a sad game where teams play down to their level. They're going to be bad. But Cam Ward, you never know. Maybe he starts lighting people up and he's the talk of the town. So I have him losing their first couple games. Denver's going to be a tough game. The Rams going to be a tough game, but I haven't beat him in Minneapolis. So maybe they, winning a bunch of those games, right, kind of at the end of the beginning of the season there. maybe they pick up steam and maybe then they carry on and keep winning games. And who knows, maybe they win the freaking division if Cam Ward's like a sensation. But
yeah, they could be this year's Commanders, but I don't see that happening.
But I guess so. Maybe in the first like couple 5 or 6 weeks, maybe it's good to watch him and see like if he's got anything there. Like maybe against Indianapolis or Arizona or Houston.
Could he have a CJ Stroud rookie year in him?
Yeah,
with an offensive line. Like we said, the division outside of Houston doesn't really have a stellar defense to go up against.
I feel like he's a very similar guy to Jordan Love, like where he's going to have that awesome arm where he's going to do cool stuff, but it's going to take certain magic around him for him to like really be like a top level quarterback, right?
But the cool thing about Cam Ward though is he did good enough that he elevated the play of the guys around him, so they got drafted.
Yeah,
Jordan Love did not
100%.
have that in college. Cam Ward went to Miami. You didn't hear about anyone getting drafted out of Miami for the last 5 years.
Well, their roster is considerably better than it has been. They were in a bit of Miami was
they're rebuilding it back up, but still, he was able to get.
You are right about that.
Restrepo, who runs a 4.840.
Well, this is the thing.
Up until the combine, people are talking, is he a third or fourth round?
And also Jordan Love had like 2 seasons of practicing behind Rodgers before he even played, really, right? Or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking Cam Ward's ahead of schedule of that. He's like more in tune and he's going to hit the ground running, here.
So honestly, going to Tennessee where he doesn't have a ton of weapons. I mean, he was at Washington State where he didn't have a ton of weapons and he made it work, right? And then he made Miami better. So like, I think Cam Ward's a guy that can elevate a team, but if you watch Cam Ward, he takes a lot of risks, man.
Oh yeah.
And it's fun to watch, but like he's going to have games, I think, where he throws 3 touchdowns and 300 yards, and he's going to have games where he throws 3 picks. Like he's going to have some hard games and some good games. So that's why I don't see him having a Jaden Daniels like season, because Jaden Daniels, Arizona State, he had some good years. He goes.
Oh no, not Jaden Daniels, just CJ Stroud level.
Oh yeah, I mean CJ Stroud had a good year, but again, they also had a really good defense that year. That he had a good year as well. Do you know what I mean? True. Because D'Amico Ryans came in and fixed that defense almost immediately.
But everyone was surprised by how good he did his rookie year. Yeah, he didn't.
No,
that's all. I'm not calling him to be a top 10 quarterback, but I just think he has enough. He has the experience with starting in college for 5 years.
Yeah.
Where he's seen enough.
He has seen a lot in different programs, without talent around him, with talent around him. So like, I think Tennessee's a great spot for him because of that, because he is going to have to elevate some of this offense, right? I just don't see it happening right away. I still think he's going to have too many like games where he just takes too many risks, and I want him to like be cool with it and chill, and I think he will be. And having a 25 TD and 18 interception season is not a failure for Cam Ward.
Oh no, that'd be solid.
Yeah, I'd be totally fine with that, and I think that's kind of what he's capable of. And maybe rush for a couple touchdowns here and there. I don't know. But like, I'm not expecting a huge season from him, but like he needs to grow and learn. And I think it's going to be good for him in Tennessee.
I'm just very excited for week 17 against New Orleans.
Yeah. Are you?
Absolutely. Because that's when I'm going to be dug in the championship, get my name back on my trophy.
I see.
Because I'm going to have Tony Pollard and Chigga Kwanko. They're going to get in pass left and right from Cam Ward. They're going to roll up all over Dougie.
All right. So anyone who watches fantasy, if you are hoping a Tennessee Titan player wins you a fantasy playoff game, you are desperate. You are desperate. So
yes,
not going to happen.
I'm very good at losing the championship. So who knows? But I don't see that being the cause.
Dude. Yeah. You're like, I'm going to win the championship game with Tony Pollard. I immediately shut you down, dude.
Yeah, you might as well just like forfeit the game if that's the Tennessee Titans.
Oh, God, dude. All right. Let's see how we finish. So Hype's got the Texans taking it. Me and Chief got the Jaguars winning it. But, all around the same record, 9-10 wins, and then Jags, Texans. So we're pretty solid there. We've all got the Colts finishing last. Surprise, surprise. Not a lot of experts are saying that's the way it's going to be, but yeah, Daniel Jones is trash and Richardson's no good. So I don't see a lot of wins for the Colts this year. I just don't see it. So Titans could be fun, But yeah, another not great division. So we did the NFC South, which wasn't great, the AFC South, which wasn't great. But I mean, the good news is, guys, now we move on to the West. NFC West, AFC West, two really fun divisions, two really tough divisions. It's going to be interesting. I don't think we're all going to agree on how those play out at all. Even though, we have some, differences in opinion here. You can see we're all pretty close to what we think these teams are going to finish. It's all within a game or two for the most part. Me and Hype are a little different on the Jaguars, but like otherwise, we're all very similar. I don't think the AFC West and NFC West are going to play that way at all. I'm just not feeling it. I think it's going to be way different. Yeah. So I'm pretty excited for those. So yeah, next episode, NFC West, followed by the AFC West to close it out, and then we'll do our playoff and Super Bowl predictions. So that's going to be pretty fun. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, we got to predict more things. If you're watching this show and also you're still watching 40 minutes in of like just breathtaking coverage of the AFC South, like I know you're like looking at your watch, like, oh, when is that video going to post of the AFC South? I need to know about that.
I mean, the Jaguars need content. The Titans need content.
They do. All you fans out there, you're thirsty for content. But in the comments, tell us if we're idiots. I guess like when you watch the season, come back here and be like, wow, you were correct. The Jaguars are the world champions now. Look at you guys. You picked them.
The future London Bulldogs now.
The future London. They're now in London. You need to fix your schedules or whatever, right?
No kidding.
But yeah, thanks to anybody for watching and making any comments or doing anything. Also, if you have any tips for us, like do you think Derek should be in a different tropical location next time? Should he be in Iceland or maybe he's in the African Sahara?
Another tropical location like Iceland.
Hey, it's tropical if you're from Greenland.
Hey, it's tropical.